Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to God Elects. It's Courtney Jones. And today, of course, we're on Pride Part 7. I know we've been going through a lot of things on Pride Part 7. And, I believe this much, if anybody. If you can walk through that kind of fire from Pride Part 1 all the way to Pride 6, and if you can walk through those teachings, all of them, and you still, if you're a person that still ain't convicted, still ain't clean, still ain't in repentance at this point, then you're doing pretty good. And so we got Part 7 coming, because like I told everybody before, God wants to get this issue out. So we're going to go over a quick review for the next couple minutes for you to understand what's been going on here. Now, in case you're just tuning in today or whatever going on, now, we've been doing this whole thing, breaking down pride. This is the whole thing that God's been wanting to be done here. And we done seen how selfishness, it all stems from selfishness. How selfishness gives birth to pride. And once it gives birth to pride, pride gives birth to rebellion. And when you have rebellion comes out, once it gets to rebellion is sin. Now, the thing about sin is that sin has so many different areas and so many different things it goes into. I mean, now you got fear. Then you find yourself in fear, hate, envy, jealousy from those. Then you find yourself into deception. Now, one of the things that pride like to do is you got to understand these things are parasites. I don't know if you ever heard of a parasite. Okay, these creatures are parasites. Okay, you always hear these Looney Tune people out in the world that's loonies. They're talking about they've been abducted by aliens, loonies, and they run around here talking about I was abducted by aliens and they look like lizards and they probe me. All this foolishness. But the point is, regardless, even what their stories are saying, what they're trying to get at is that these aliens are parasites, okay? And they're hallucinations. These aliens are parasites. And what I want you to understand is that that's the whole key to everything. These spirits are parasites. They feed. These spirits feed on us. They have to feed on us to keep us in line, to keep us weak enough to not see what's in front of our eyes, to keep us in chains. So therefore, we will never sit there and go to God and repent and go to God and follow Jesus the right way and get rid of them. Their survival depends on our ignorance. It's like a person have parasites. I don't know if you ever seen this, but I remember it was a show they used to come on, and it's called Monsters Inside Me. And then the show was a show about people who have parasites they've been carrying all their life. Some been carrying for 20 years. Some been carrying for 5 years, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it may be. Now, these parasites stay in their body unalert. Meanwhile, this thing been sitting in their body for 20 years. It never gave him any symptoms for as he known, because he didn't feel nothing hurting him. But meanwhile, this thing was eating his body inside out, and by the time they found out it was in there, it caused him to have cancer and all kind of problems. So they got the parasite out, but now he's fighting for cancer. It's people that had the stuff in them all the time and didn't even know it. They just go use the restroom one day, and all of a sudden the parasite fall out in their stool, and then they found out, oh my God, there's a bunch of more of them in there. One guy had so many of them he didn't even know it got into his brain, into his whatever area, and it somehow got into his brain somehow. See, the thing is, these are the things that goes on. These things are parasites. And they feed on each other to feed on you. They strengthen each other. Just like a parasite goes into your body. And when it goes in your body, it hatches eggs. It makes sure it get a good place to go, because it needs to make sure that your immune system don't detect it. So it goes somewhere where it can't be detected. Some of them are already equipped with their body, able to make their body harder, or certain things they can do to their body where your immune system it can attack them, but it won't even do anything. Meanwhile, in doing this, it's latching on to things where it can breed and it can help feed the other ones until they take off and then they separate. This is the same thing these demons are doing. Selfishness is a spirit. It's an enchanting spirit. It charms you. It enchants you. It gets you to break rank. Meaning this much, the devil was an angel. But see, selfishness got him to break rank. See, he started not liking the fact that it's something else could be greater than me. And he don't like the fact, why do he get to make all the choices? See, that's when selfishness starting to come in. It's about me. Then it turns, of course, into pride. I can run it better than him. Who he think he is? Then deception came in. And now he going around, and he's determined to go around and take this throne of God. I'm going to take it. And then you got all these angels. You got to go deceive them now. But now he got to go make them feel selfish. Now he got to say, you don't like what's going on? Don't you? So he got to go feed them what he was fed. And they are doing the same thing right now to us. They're getting you into selfishness. This country preaches selfishness. All it preaches is be selfish. It's all about you follow your dreams. Don't let no one stop you. You got to get yours. I'm going to get mine. You hear these television ministers all about money. I'm going to get mine. I'm going to get mine. You better get, I'm going to get mine. See? Selfishness. All selfishness. All about me. And then we got the pride in the school buildings. Then we take the self. We got our kids like that. Kids don't want to share toys. They don't want to do this. I think something really funny. I seen a parent say this one time. I remember I worked at a video store years ago. Remember, I was a manager at a assistant manager at a video store, and I remember this woman came in, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a white woman come in, and it's quite few white people came around this area. And I noticed when the Hispanic people came in, they all got one movie or one game for the kids to share to play. But when a lot of these white people came in, they would buy their kids individually different things. I'm talking about to the point where this the same game, but Donnie wanted the Xbox and he wanted the PlayStation. No, you can't touch mine. I don't want them fighting over it, so I gave them their own individual things, and that's how I do them. But don't play with him, I bought yours. See, you think that's a good idea, but you teach them not to share. You teaching them, hey, you can't touch my stuff. And so long as you baby them like that, oh, I bought him his own car, he got his own car, I bought him his own this, and he grew up like that, he don't know how to share. So when he get into a relationship with someone, his wife or someone, hey, I got my side of the bills, you got yours. Hey, I got my side of this food, and you got your side of the food. Don't eat mine, I ain't eating yours. And that's what you pretty much have. You teaching them to have selfishness. You see? And they think it's a good thing. Think it's a good thing. But it's selfishness. And you're teaching them to have selfishness. Oh, because I don't want them to argue. See, that's the problem with people. You want to have these kids. See, you got to be better parents now. See, this is a time where you got to be better parents now. This became a time where parents don't want to be parents anymore. They just want to go do that. They want to do them. Let me go get my career. It's like, Tom, I'm tired of you working now. I need something for me. The kids are like 15, 16. I need something for me now. So let me go get me a career to do me. But these kids still ain't raised yet. They ain't out the door yet. but I'm being selfish. If I'm Tom, I'm being selfish to say, hey, the kids ain't out the door yet. Well, you know, I got to do me. And for him to shut her up. See, we need to start exposing these things. People need to understand. You got to quit being whining little brats. You're a mom. You have to take this. You want to lay up there. You want to make these babies. Y'all want to change the whole limit from a kid being 18 to grown instead of being 15, 16 the way it used to be. You want to change it, then you stick with it. Don't go cry baby now. Don't whine. I don't, you know, they 14, 15. I need something else in my life. You need Jesus. Believe me. If you were following Jesus the right way, you have enough in your life. But you know what? I need something else in my life. So now I can do parenting, but I want to also do me. I can't wait for another 2 more years, 3 more years for them to be grown, get out the house. I was watching this Christian movie. I remember watching this Christian movie, and the boy was going through a divorce with his parents, and then how the divorce was destroying him. Now, the people stopped going to church. They stopped going to church. So, therefore, they start having problems. The husband started getting greedy and wants to, he doing the worldly thing. He wants to be successful in the world than in the kingdom. The wife, of course, the same thing. They got out of church. Now, she's bickering. She's bullying him. She keep on blaming him for everything. She taking responsibility for nothing. When he was trying to correct this boy, the wife keep coming in. Now, he's trying to correct the boy. Listen, this is wrong what you're doing. And the wife will come in and tell him what he's wrong about in front of the boy. Then the boy go off and say something bad to the mama. Then the daddy say, hey, don't speak to your mom like that. And then the mama step in again and tell him, don't tell him that because you talk to me like that too. So she's saying that her son is up to the daddy's authority. Now, mind you that they should not be arguing in front of that child anyway. But this is the stuff that goes on. How can he discipline the son when the wife keep running the mouth and getting in the way and talking about the personal issues they got in front of the son? How that's going to work? It's not going to work. But her pride is burning because it's all about me. And she's so quick to want to blame him for the kid having all the problems he has. But when the man trying to put the discipline action on her, what happens? She fighting him with it. So everything he said, the boy is not going to listen to because she keep on jumping in the way. Because she mad and she want to get her issues out. And this ain't the time. So they was going through a divorce, like anybody. If we're going to sit here and go back and forth and argue like this, we're going to have a problem. She want her husband to give her some form of respect, but how he going to give her a form of respect when she ain't giving him respect? But she expect respect, but she's not giving it. And by her not giving respect, she's being a little brat, and you're ruining your kid's life because I'm not getting it. So I'm, and the kid is acting up and having all kind of problems, and she's not stepping in to stop anything. Her thing is, what about me? And they got so far away from the church and God. Just because they left God, left the church, and look how the devil came in, and that selfishness took over the husband. He was worried about only his career and how to excel, and then the wife go into her selfishness, and then the kid is acting out in his selfishness because I'm not getting what I need, and I'm not. See, all that's happening, and that whole household is being torn apart. All because of selfishness. And then they can't stay in the room with each other because the pride is so thick in there. They just pointing the finger. It's your fault. It's your fault. No, it's yours. It's yours. None of them want to take responsibility for their parenting. And that's what was going on. And that's what's going on right now. A lot of y'all don't want to take responsibility. You want to run around there talking about, y'all serve Jesus. You don't serve Jesus. You serve Jesus. You'll be taking responsibility for your parenting. You'll be taking responsibility for it. You won't sit up there and say, well, I put food in his belly, clothes on his back. That's all he needs. That's all he needs. You may think that it doesn't matter what you do. You may think you can argue in front of these kids and they'll just get used to it. You may think you could be a woman with a single woman with different men coming in and out your house and they don't affect those kids. You can think that. You can believe that. You can believe that it's okay to let my kids, my daughter's 13, 14, 15, to be obsessed with clothes and makeup already. You can keep running around there talking about I'm a child of God, I'm a servant of Jesus, but yet my child is in what you call a rebellious stage. We didn't accept rebellion. It's all over the television. Oh, they're in the rebellion stage. Everybody, it's what they do. It ain't what they supposed. Ain't supposed to have no rebellion there. The rebellion there because you had the selfishness you started off with, and then you got pride all in the school from elementary up there in pride, and the daycare center pride. Everything is pride. And then you find out, then here come rebellion. Here comes sin. Here come rebellion. Now they ain't listening anymore. Now I told you before what pride does. Pride comes in and builds a stronghold, and when pride get in, no one can hear anything. A man will sit there and think he's a good man because he said, I'm a good man because I work and pay my bill and take care of my family, and all of a sudden lose that job and people trying to help him, and he will not take help. Your mortgage going, your house going to get taken from you. You need food in the house. He will not take any help because that pride won't allow him, and his family will lose that house, and they will lose everything else because of his pride. Now, he'd have took the help, got back where he needed to be, he'd have been on point. But no. See, that pride, I won't take nothing. I won't take nothing from them. I won't take no help. And you know what? You won't take it from God either. You won't take it from God either. Because you're self-sufficient. Some of the most people, I'm going to tell you something. Some of the people that, I'm going to tell you a person that got pride up to their eyeballs, a self-sufficient person. They preach self-sufficiency. You need to be self-sufficient. That's what this country preach. Self-sufficiency. And self-sufficiency, I'm going to tell you a thing about self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency, what it comes from, but from pride, which it comes from pride. But see, what people don't understand what self-sufficiency comes from. It stems from deception. It stems from deception. See, since when people get deception like any other sickness, it has symptoms. You have symptoms from it. That's like, well, I got allergies. Well, my eyes running, my nose running, I'm sneezing, I'm coughing. These things have symptoms. They have symptoms. So self-sufficiency is part of deception. See, what happens to most people is they don't understand. Once you hit rebellion, once you hit pride and pride hit rebellion, now you open for me. Listen, you got everything in their mama coming out now. Once deception get in, it's going to bring in a whole bunch of friends. It's going to bring in lust, greed, jealousy, envy, self-sufficiency. The whole I don't care spirit comes in, and I don't care spirit. See, it's things that lead you to I don't care spirit. See, that's one of the symptoms of deception. I don't care. That's one of the symptoms of it. I don't care. So when you've been in deception so long, it causes you to get I don't care symptom, sickness, where you sitting up there, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care. I don't care what happens. Because deception rules so harshly. It comes in and it tells you that I don't care what you're going to do. Deception is so cold, it will tell you what it's going to do and still do it, and you allow it. It'll say, that man coming back here, that man going out tonight, he going to sleep with that woman, and he going to come back in your house and lay with you, and you're going to let it happen. I'm not taking him back. I don't care what he said. I ain't taking him back. Ain't what happened. I took him back. Deception is so cold that you sitting up there saying, I don't care how much you cry. You can cry all you want, Billy. I'm not going to give you what you want. And Billy keep on crying and keep on, and you say, okay, all right, I'm going to give it to you so I ain't got to mess you up, Billy, because I'm going to end up whooping you or end up doing something to you, Billy, so I'm going to give it to you to shut you up. So what Billy going to do now? He going to keep working with deception. He going to keep doing it. He said, well, I cried last time. I kept having temper tantrums last time for 5 minutes. I'll go 10 minutes to get it. Because you do not negotiate with terrorists. Even our country knows you don't negotiate with terrorists. You do not negotiate with these spirits. So I got to buy Timmy a toy and Billy a toy. I got to buy them different things because I don't want them crying because they don't want to share. And I don't want to hear their mouth. I don't want to say, hey, I'm finna instill sharing and caring into you. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to hear their mouth because myself, which is my pride, I don't want to hear the noise. I ain't got no patience for it. And I told people before, that's another symptom that happens when deception come in. And then you get, I don't care. Then what happens? You don't care. You get, I ain't got patience anymore. Then you lose patience. That's why we don't wait for anything in the grocery stores anymore. We waiting in line. Oh my God, we got self-checkout, please. I mean, come on. When we frustrated, we want to tell off the people at the register. We mad at the people in front of us. We want them just to go away, and we want to get there and get our stuff and get out of here, please. We ain't got no patience. We're on the road. We know we're taking chances doing suicidal things all the time driving because we don't have any patience. Why? Because we full of deception, pride, selfishness, rebellion. This is why when the Bible tells you that the devil did what? He's the serpent that did what? He deceived the whole world. All of y'all been deceived, including me. I was deceived. Everybody is. Because do you know this? What I'm saying, did you know this? Of course you don't know this. Because it takes God the one to tell you what's going on, how you've been attacked and how this working. Of course you didn't know this. What a psychologist going to do? See, the devil got them too. So they can get your medications. And you can keep saying, I'm not a junkie, but you know what? I'm not a junkie. But I'm holding on to those Adderall. I can't move without Adderall. I can't focus. I can't do anything. Oh, I'm on Xanax. Where my Xanax at? Where my Vicodin? I got a little pain in my back that is imaginary. Going through your pills in 3 and 4 days. Going through your pills in 10 days and running back to the pharmacist and arguing with them and argue with your insurance company. Going different pharmacists to different pharmacists. Because you're junkies. And you think you ain't junkies. Because I'm not doing illegal drugs. Or I'm not smoking crack. I'm not on meth. What you think Adderall is? It's amphetamines. It's the same thing. It's legalized crystal meth. What you think it is? And they give this to our kids. Because you know why? Once again, our kids sit there. It's no such thing. Listen, if a person got ADD, this is what ADD is. I'm going to show you what ADD is. ADD is attention disorder. Now, I'm going to tell you what attention disorder is. A dog has ADD. A dog can't keep his mind focused too long on anything. If you ever had a dog, you know what I'm saying. Dog will be on one thing, and then even though it's got this thing in mind, it's still looking at something else. That's something that's hard to focus. A dog can sit there and chew on that bone and be trying to get it. It's getting it. But he still look at something else, may drop it at times, go do something else, and then come back to the bone. He have attention problem. Disorder. Now, we talk about these kids have attention problem. These kids are just playing you. You sit there and go watch these kids who say, go, let's all get together and do a survey. Let's see. Let's watch these kids. You got kids right now, some of you ADD. Most of you using ADD just to get checks from the government. Let's be honest here. But we talk about the ones who really think their kids have this problem. Let's be honest here. Be honest. Your kid's sitting up there. He's doing bad in school, got behavior problems. We say, oh, well, you know what? Here we go in pride. It can't be my kid. See, my kid, he can't embarrass me like, see, it can't be my kid. My kid can't just be lacking in the education department. He can't just be embarrassing. He can't be dumb. a way of putting it. He can't be ignorant. So it got to be something. And then you go to the school, and the teacher tell you, you know what, he don't pay attention. He keep talking, he keep doing everything. Something, and then you're mad at the teacher because your pride won't let you hear the problem. Then you say, well, I don't know, it's got to be something. And so you take him to a psychologist. And the psychologist ain't nothing but a legalized drug dealer. Because you know what? Do he solve Billy's problem? No, he don't solve Billy's problem. Most of the time, they don't solve the problem. They give him medication. Well, Billy needs Adderall. Oh, so you need to be high in school. Well, he's high. And you know, most people take Adderall. First thing they say is, man, that besides that stuff having you where they high on things, they say it has you so focused on things where you just so focused because you're high. You focus on a certain object. And you just get the task done. Now, why do Billy don't want to do it? Well, because you know what? I'm going to tell you why. Go spend a day with Billy. When we play video games, Billy can play the Call of Duty game. He can play the whole game. This game about 2 or 3 hours. Billy can play this whole game, sit there and play the whole game, beat the game. Billy can know every Pokemon card and every word in it and flip it upside down. Billy can understand and read Harry Potter books. He know everything in Harry Potter books. But when it comes to something he don't want to do, like schoolwork, oh, he got ADD. But see, you don't want to accept that. So you need every other opinion but your own. But to go to Jesus. See what's wrong with Billy. Billy, I tell you what's wrong with Billy. Billy is spoiled, and Billy acting out spoiled. And you giving Billy his way. And then when you go give him these medications like Adderall and these things that he don't need, now Billy hides a kite, and Billy likes taking Xanax. He likes the way it makes him feel. They sell Xanax all day on the streets. Most of these women and men are in church, praising God, and got a bottle full of these drugs in their purses, in their cars. But think it's okay because they got it from the doctor. But they know they hooked. Oh, I got anxiety problem. You believe in Jesus. What you have an anxiety problem for? You ain't supposed to fear nothing but God. What you in fear for? Say you didn't let that pride turn to rebellion and turn you all the way to fear. Then you're taking pills because you're in fear. And then you take the pills, and the pills give you some kind of high in the flesh, and you like it, and you keep wanting to take it because you feel it's okay because the law says it's okay. It's not like I'm smoking crack, even though I'm addicted and spending my money and going out here doing the same thing. I'm addicted if I don't have it. But I'm not on crack. I can still function on the job. So it's okay. Let's talk about all these issues here. You've been deceived. You've been tricked. You in the flesh. Quit lying to yourself. Quit letting pride tell you, don't listen. Who he think he is. Yeah, come on. Get it out. Who I think I am. And go to Jesus and ask him who he think you are. And let's find out. Who's right and who's wrong. Now, one of the reasons you're going to have to step up and do this, you have to understand something. You have to take this stuff seriously. Your kids' life at stake here. These leeches is leeching on. And they want to weaken you and to weaken your kids. One of the things you have to learn when you receive Jesus and you get the Holy Spirit, one thing the Holy Spirit is going to show you, you cannot put man on pedestals, even the ones in the Bible. You can't put the ones in the Bibles on pedestals because once you know the Bible, Paul tells you in Timothy that the Bible was made for correction. It's things in the Bible that's made for flaws, for correction. To correct you, and it's for the Holy Spirit to show you what you need to be corrected in. So each story, from Abraham's story, remember we went through this in the teaching, from Abraham's story to Sarah, to all these people have pride in the story. They all have selfishness that was no good. They all had things that caused problem in the story. We think they were just doing good because that's what we think. We think they was doing good. But the Bible was set up for this, to be this way. But we think, You know what? We're supposed to worship Moses. Moses had flaws. Moses shows his flaws. Moses did things. He took credit for God. He couldn't even get in the promised land. But we sit back and say, oh, yeah, Moses. So when Jesus come, when Jesus came, everybody, they so obsessed with Moses that no matter what Jesus said, well, you ain't say what Moses said. You think you was Abraham? Now here's Jesus. God in the flesh ain't making no mistakes here. And you so quick to they so quick to want to kill him and judge him and shut him up. Because they done already made up what they want to follow. We want to follow this broke law of Moses. This law that the man done took it and they done twisted it. They not even following it. We want to do that. We want to do bad things and keep it in secret. And who is this Jesus character coming up here telling us we got to do this and we got to give it all up? And who's he? Who he's supposed to be? So what? He did a couple miracles. So what? I'm not ready. I'm not a pig that's ready to come out my slop. I'm not ready to come out that mud, that filth yet. So I'd rather be a beast than be a child of God. Because I ain't ready to come out this filth yet. I got to keep, listen, I'm not ready to throw my vomit up. It tells in the Bible that here comes the dog. Once again, the dog returning to his vomit. When you repent, God pull all that out of you and you turn it right back to it. Like the children of Israel. See, people rather have a beast. So you'd rather be a beast. And this is the whole thing about the beast of the field. So you'd rather be a beast. You'd rather be a beast man. Because when you're a beast man, you can just chase after everything of the flesh. See, when you're a beast man, I can go out and work and do what I want. I can go out and get what I want. I can make my own. So when you're a beast man, you can do whatever you want. That's why when God told the children of Israel, listen, you ain't no beast man anymore. You're not a beast man anymore. You cannot rape your sister. You cannot rape your sister anymore. That's stuff animals would do. Another thing, you cannot rape the animals. You cannot say, I'm going to kill this lamb, but first I'm going to sleep with it. I'm going to keep having sex with this animal, and then I'm going to eat it. You can't do this no more. You're not an animal. What kind of animal is that? It's domestic animals that won't even do foolishness like this, and you got men that's supposed to be above animals, and it's beasts that's better than you are. How low can you be when you have a wolf? A wolf can stick to one mate his whole life. A beaver can stay family-oriented with one his whole life, and you are a man supposed to be on a higher level than him, and you can't keep your pants zipped. You can't stay true to your wife. You got animals with more integrity. Unbelievable. Animals know I can't tap the land. I got to do certain things to take from the land. But here come these greedy little beasts. Let's tear down all the trees. Let's kill everything for profit. You have animals that got more integrity, more wisdom, and more understanding than these beast men that's running around here. Unbelievable. And you people really believe that living this way and still stand like this. You really believe that God's going to give you anything but his wrath? Then you have to take this seriously, because it's been going on so long that it's embedded in your DNA at this point. Now, God created us for worship. So, therefore, if we was following Jesus the way we were supposed to, then that's what we will worship. We worship God all day long. But since we do things our own way and want to do our own way, the problem is we still creatures that's designed to worship. So that means that I don't care who you are, where you are, you will worship something. It may be that makeup, that phone, that makeup in that phone, that purse, that credit card, them clothes. It may be you looking in the mirror. Look how pretty I am. See, you're going to worship something. That television, them games, them idols, you're going to worship something. Your cars, your job, where you at your job all day. I ain't got no life. My life is my career. So you're going to worship something. You're going to worship something. Paul say man's going to be the lovers of themselves. Well, you're going to have to worship something. And then you're going to need things to worship you. See, this is how you know you're a person that worship yourself. You need to get animals. You need animals to make you feel good. You're sitting up there alone with 30 cats. Why? Because them cats need me. They loyal to me. They giving me attention. When you got people out here that need help. Kids you can adopt. You can take off the streets. You can be part of these programs to go in these juveniles, help these girls who are in trouble and are getting off drugs and everything else. And boys. But you know what? No. See, them people let you down. You can rely on animals. They won't let you down. They'll just poop all over your carpet, tear up your furniture, stink your house up, and let every demon into them that want to be. But they're loyal to you. And that's all that matters to you. Me. You're supposed to be a selfless person. You're supposed to be able to say, we need to go help these people. Jesus was in the people department, not the dog department. The people department. People talking about, well, they need us to help the dog. Dogs survive for thousands and thousands of years without us. They don't need us to survive. They just survive plenty of time. You know, most animals can survive in their own habitat. I see cats come out the woods all the time. No one even doing nothing. Them cats come out the woods. You know what? They more fatter. They more fat and healthy and stronger, and they running around. They leaping on things. They more free than they want to. They can mate when they want to mate with whoever. They ain't got to be in no house or trapped in. They can do what they want. But we say, oh, well, you know, we doing them a favor, some of them. Well, if you mean to tell me you got compassion for a dog that looks sickly, but you ain't got compassion for a kid out there looking sickly, or somebody out there looking sickly need help? No, they ain't people. They can do something. See, we all got excuse to keep us from doing the right thing. See, to keep us from doing the Jesus thing, we make excuses. Now, Jesus say, help that man, but we say, oh, that man can get a job. Oh, that man is his own fault. He's alcoholic out there. Well, how you know it ain't the dog's fault that he's out there? Oh, it can't be. He just needs help. But okay, but you can't do that with the people. But you know you get no credit for helping the animal. You know Jesus gives you no credit for helping the animal. You get no credit from the kingdom of heaven for helping the animal. No credit. No credit. You get no credit. I want you to understand that. Ain't no credit. Jesus showed you how to get credit in the kingdom of heaven. And you don't get credit for helping a dog and letting a person go hungry. You don't get credit for having no shelter for a person, but shelter for a dog. So you don't get credit for that. But see, you can help a homeless person that, you know what, maybe they won't listen. Maybe they won't do this. But you know what? If it don't matter what they do, you get credit for trying. See, you don't get credit for things in heaven that you want to do. You get credit for heaven for things you don't want to do. See, I don't want to have to go out and spend my money to help people that I don't even know. But I get credit to do it. What credit would it be for me to keep my money and spend it on people that I love, that I do know? There's no credit in that. Jesus told us no credit in it. It's credit to do the things I don't want. I don't want to give my jacket to another person that's out there don't have a jacket. But according to God, If I did that, I get credit. But if I give my jacket to some fine little woman that walked by that I got entrance in and say, oh, let me put my little jacket on you, ain't no credit in that. Selfless. And we have to pay attention to these things because these things are so important. And see what happened, deception and got in and all these things got in, and then it caused you to have not care. You don't care. And when you don't care, it causes you to be numb in areas. So what happens? You became numb. I passed through this street and there's bum here all the time. I gave him money a couple times. I'm not doing it no more. Jesus said, give it to them even though you know they trying to use you if you got it. Give it to them anyway. Because that's credit every time you do it. You should be like, oh, that's more credit I'm getting in the kingdom. Boom. Hey, where the bum? I'm looking for the bum. I'm looking for them. I'm looking for people with problems so I can get credit in the kingdom. But you know why you ain't going to do that? Because you don't believe that it's a kingdom. If God came to you right now, if Jesus came to you right now and took you to heaven, and you knew it was a kingdom, you'll go out now and tell everybody in the world, you'll go sell every possession you got. You'll be for real. Because you'll believe then. But see, you don't really believe. Because you say, well, I believe. You don't believe. Jesus said you can't follow me unless my word abide in you. I mean, the word he spoke is in you and you're doing it. But that pride you got to get all that out. It won't let you. And deception ain't got in. And it's lashed in. And now you I don't care. And then you got numbness. And so for some things you're like, okay, and some things, no, I can't do it. I'm not lending my brother money no more. I'm not lending my sister money. I'm not lending these people money unless people, I've just got a good heart and I give money and they want it back. I want it back and they don't never pay me back. I'm not doing it anymore. Jesus say you should rejoice at this. That's credit. That's an opportunity. Paul say take advantage of every opportunity. That's an opportunity for me. They ain't going to pay me money. Good. Don't pay it back. I hope they don't. That's all part of persecution. That's all part of long suffering. That's good. They ain't going to pay my money back. You need some more? But see, you don't believe it. So you don't believe it, you have a temper tantrum. That pride say, hey, man, don't give him no more money, man. You ain't getting it back. Why? Because why? Pride speaking from what? He's speaking for selfishness. Selfishness, hey, listen, it's about you and yours. It's about you and yours. You can't keep doing that. But Jesus say you do it anyway. Am I exception? No, you're not exception to the rule. No one is. This is something God himself do. Ain't no exception to the rule. God take pleasure in helping his enemies, which all you is his enemies. You're all his enemies. Even the ones who think they born again ain't following nothing Jesus said. You're all enemies. He take pleasure in helping his enemies. He take pleasure in pulling people out the world, giving them and getting them born again and getting them saved and giving them wisdom and send them out here so they can spend the rest of their life dedicated to him to come out here and tell you people these things, and you can get mad and want to throw stones at them and hang them somewhere or throw them off a cliff. Now you notice these people are people that follows Jesus. They left and right. We follow him. Willing to do whatever he wants. And he's going to throw you out there under the bus, under the wolves. They're willing to throw you out there on the bus under the wolves to help save the enemy. All you people that's enemies, that don't serve him. That's the kind of God we serve. He threw Jesus under the bus to save all of us. See, that's the kind of giving and dedication you have to have. See, what credit is him for God to only love people that love him? There's no credit for him. What credit is that? That's what he teach us. What credit is you to help your wife, your sister, your brother? What credit is that? There ain't no credit. There's no credit in that. But see, that pride, that selfishness, that denial, you get numb. See, the devil knows what he's doing. He knows you don't know the rules of God. He knows you don't know his attacks. He knows you don't know what his plan is. And this is how he's been using people, because you have to seek the face of God. I was telling my wife this, and people can agree with this or not. Do what you like. But I was telling my wife this. I say, you see what's sad is that people didn't let the devil take over so much stuff. They let him take over so many things, so much stuff, to the point where they put God in a box, and he's in religion in a box. And then they got multiple ones. And they make God like he's the enemy. He's the enemy. They run around here with the devil talking about the devil's love and talking about he's Jesus. That ain't Jesus. That's the devil. That ain't Jesus. I'm gonna tell you that now. That's the Antichrist. See, that's why he's here, and he's tricking you, because you're running around here talking about, oh, I know God is love. You don't know what love even is. See, you think in your selfishness and your pride and your delusions, and you think love means I can do what I want, and he'll keep forgiving me. I can just keep doing what I want, and it's all good. You're supposed to be a holy people. And God was doing the children of Israel. You need to be a holy nation, a holy people with integrity. So therefore, you cannot keep raping your sister. You cannot keep raping and sleeping with animals. Okay? You cannot even be disrespectful and so deluded that you would take a little baby animal from its mother wing, kill it, eat it, and bathe it in the milk that came from the mother. You can't sleep with women on their periods, which is disgusting anyway. But you can't do that. And under no circumstance should a man ever find himself in this position. A man should never find himself in a position where he is with another man on top of him doing sexual things. Never should happen. That's something that should never happen. That is something that is so depraved, it should never happen. It happened in the Bible a couple of times. And it's men that will give up their daughters, their virgin daughters, their concubines, no matter what it is. Just don't do this horrendous crime. Don't do this man like that. But see, demons they love to do this. Because see, man is in God's image. So nothing they love more than take a man and possess a man, take a man body, possesses him. Because they seek weak people. He don't know if he's a boy or he's a girl. He's weak. He don't know who he is. Let's take him, and they take advantage of him. They leech on to him, and then he walking around there with Kool-Aid and stuff all on his face and makeup. And you know what? He do not want other men that's like him. He don't want other guys that's gay like he is. He wants the straight guy. So he need to lure them in. Because that demon that's in him and that demon that's controlling him, what it want more than anything is to be able to brag of how he's going to bend over this straight guy in God's image and do this sick act and let God and them watch while he's doing it, while they laughing. this is what they want to do. While they laughing. Nothing more they love than doing this. That's why in our society right now, we have so much of this walking around. It's nothing, and you notice that they want to make it where you can't say anything to them anymore. Because they want you to accept this, so the devil and them demons, they can just run loose and have a good time. At man's expense, we can just laugh at the beast. Because the beast is, look at him, he's so dumb, he's so naive. Don't he know he can't beat me without Jesus? No, they don't want Jesus. They want to be beasts. So we're going to laugh at them. And while we laughing at them, the devil going to go and accuse us night and day to God. And talk about, look at this God, you picked him over me. Look at, he's bent over. He's a man, he's bent over on another man. Look at this sickness. This disgusting. Look at him. And you say they better than me? I'm going to have all of them out there doing it to show you how sick they are, how they can be twisted like this. And they sit back and they laughing and accusing. And you walk around there helping them. Not once y'all walking around, where's God? What do God feel about me doing this sick thing? I remember, something? I'll tell a person this in a minute. I remember you have these women, they riding around in their cars. They got all these demonic music in their cars, but they got a Christian CD. So why you got a Christian CD in your car? Oh, because I like gospel music, some of it. Oh, okay. So you heard of Jesus. You know what's going on. Okay. So why do you get in the car with the man? You know you're married, some of you know you ain't. You get in the car with the man, you go to the man's house, you do what you do, whatever you're doing. I'm going to tell you something to do. You're adulterous, be adulterous. You want to be adulterous, think nothing wrong with it? Let everybody know. See, go out there with a shirt and say, I'm an adulteress. Run out with a shirt and say, I'm a pedophile. And I'm working at your local school. See, if you think nothing wrong with these things, let's come out and say it. Let's all come out with it. Why are we hiding it? What you hiding for? Because God see everything you're doing. You can't hide it from him. But you're hiding it from people. Because that's really who you are. That's really what you want to please. I don't want people to know that I like little boys, so I'm going to hide it. And I'm going to sneak over there and get a job where I can take advantage of little boy or do things and take advantage of little boy, but I don't want nobody to know. Why are you hiding it? Because you know it's wrong. I'm hiding. I want my wife to know that I'm cheating on her, so I'm hiding it. What you hiding for? What you lying for when she called where you at? Why are you lying? Just come out and say, hey, listen, I'm going to mess with other women. You're going to like it, and that's what it is. Because when you do it in secret, you're being judged just as well. The demons see you. They with it. They talk you into it. They laughing at you. God and them sees it. They're recording everything. This is how pride then got loose. And this is how deception, how all these things, that all came from selfishness. That if you ain't going to think about your kids, you ain't going to think about Jesus anyway. You're supposed to love Jesus more. And some of you will say, well, I love my kids. I spend time with my kids. Do you spend time with Jesus? You're supposed to love Jesus more than anything. Well, I mean, I know I'm not. See, no, I don't hear no excuse. You got time for everything else. Everything else is a priority. But Jesus is not a priority in your life. He's not a priority in your life, but everything else, you got time. Now, I'm going to show you some things. So you have to understand these things. People got to understand how this affects your kids. You can't let them get away with anything. I don't care if you tired. I'm getting tired of Billy keep doing this, and so I don't care. Let them do it. See, that's my point. See, I'm tired. I don't care. See, I'm tired of deceiving myself with my pride. When are you going to go to Jesus and do it? And you can't go to Jesus when you got stuff that you need to do. Jesus told you, take it out your eye before you take it out. So you can't go there and say, Jesus, help my kid, and I'm messed up. Now, how important is this? This is very important because this is how your kids are going to be raised. Would you want to raise your kids, the next generation, to this make God even more mad at them than you? Worry about raising kids with education. I'm worried about him getting a career, but he can go to hell. But I'm worried about him getting a career. Unbelievable. Oh, he went to the military, and you worry about him going to hell, and you ain't worried about him going to hell. You just worry about what success he can do. How much money can he make? I hear people all the time say, I want my kid to be better than me. Well, in that case, give him Jesus. No, I just want him to follow. I just want him to follow. I just want him to, to follow his dreams, Follow his dreams? Follow his dreams? Are we serious about that? Follow his dreams? See, people don't understand. Let me tell you a story real quick. Now, I don't know if you ever read Genesis. I don't know if anybody went through Genesis. But Genesis chapter 26, 27. And it goes on a little further. And they talks about a story about Jacob. I don't know if you know what Jacob is. Jacob is the one who that God turned his name to Israel. And I want you to understand about Jacob, because, see, we can't look at these people like they're celebrities. We got to look at the flaws and the mistake these people made that was terrible. Then Jacob did some terrible things. He did. So we're gonna say, but God, God picked him. No, he did some terrible things. I'm gonna show you he did some terrible things. He did some terrible things. He did some terrible things. Now, we're gonna go to Genesis. We're gonna go to Genesis chapter 25, verse 21. Because, see, we can blame Jacob, but who was his daddy? His daddy was Isaac. So what do we know about Isaac? Well, God is the God of Jacob, Isaac, and Abraham, Isaac. So therefore, since he's the God of them, that means that they was perfect. That means they did things the right way. Does that mean they even followed God? Well, let's find out how dedicated Isaac was to God. Let's just find out how dedicated Isaac was to God. Now, we go to the Genesis 25, verse 21. Isaac prayed to the Lord for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord granted his prayer, and his wife Rebekah conceived. The children struggled together within her, meaning that they was fighting inside of her stomach. And she said, if it is to be this way, why do I live? Now, when the kids they're in her belly, twins, they're fighting each other. That's the way she feel like they fighting each other inside. And she say, if this is going to be the way that it's going to be, why do I live? Well, I don't want to live to see this. They're enemies already. Now, God gave Isaac what he asked for his babies. These babies at war with each other. So watch what happens. So she went to require of the Lord, and the Lord said to her, there are 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples born of you shall be divided. Now he told them this, there are 2 nations that's in you, meaning that it's 2 countries coming out of you, and they will be divided. They won't see eye to eye. There'll be another Cain and Abel. So now you notice that God just told them, and watch what God tell them this. The one shall be stronger than the other. The one should be stronger than the other. The elder he said the elder shall serve the younger. So he lets you know that the oldest son will serve the younger son. He lets you know that the older son is going to he's going to serve the younger one. Now, the oldest son was Esau. The younger son is Jacob. Now, when God just told them this, he just told Rebekah and Isaac this, what is he saying to them? He's saying that the younger child is going to be the king, the ruler. So therefore, you give him the blessing. Because Abraham had the blessing, even though Ishmael was the oldest, he couldn't give it to Ishmael. He had to give it to Isaac. So that shows you Abraham, he followed God because he listened to what God said. Isaac ain't listening. I'm going to show you he ain't listening. He's not listening because he said the youngest one, Jacob, is going to rule over him, so therefore, give him the blessing. Well, let's find out why he wouldn't give him the blessing. Now, it tells you in the story that Isaac liked it Esau. He loved it Esau more than he loved Jacob. He loved it Esau more than he loved Jacob. Therefore, and it also said Jacob was a hunter. He was a mighty hunter. He was a mighty hunter. He was a man's man. Jacob, it said he stayed in the house with the mama. He's a sensitive little boy that want to bake cakes and cookies. That don't mean he ain't a man. That just means that he's an emotional man. He's not a killer. He's not a hunter. He's not a warrior. He ain't got to go and pretend to be a warrior. That's what's wrong with people on these streets. There's a lot of these men trying to pretend to be something they're not. Instead of being what Jesus is. They're trying to pretend to be something he's not. Now, what ended up happening was Isaac was going to give the blessing to Esau, not to Jacob, to Esau, because Isaac say Esau is like me. Esau is like me. He's a man's man. Right on. If I give this land to Esau, it makes sense. If I give the land to him, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me because, he's a warrior. Everybody know he go out and he gather food for everybody in the kingdom. He go out and hunt. He's a man. He don't make excuses. He's a man. He'd be a great leader. He won't take no stuff from nobody. Great leader. Just like me. Problem is, Esau would be arrogant. He will be stuck in his ability to be a warrior and great and magnificent. And all the Canaanite women, he keep marrying woman after woman, they all love him, and he's all great. That's all good. But the problem is, he won't submit himself to serve God. That's his problem. Now, Isaac already know what God told Rebekah. He know this, that the youngest won't have to get the blessing, but Isaac determined he's going to give it to Esau. There's nowhere around it to him. I made my decision. I will not give it to Jacob. There's nowhere in the world. Now, how much pride was Isaac in? He was in so much pride to the fact of the matter he was blind. He couldn't see anything. I'm going to show you that. Now, we're going to go to Genesis 27. When Isaac was old and his eyes was dim, That's in this translation, but really, I need to go find another translation. I'm in the Catholic. It said when Isaac was old and his eyes was dim. And King James most translation is saying he was blind. He was blind. He was blind as a bat. He was old. He was blind. So that he could not see. And remember that word see is believe. Isaac was old. You know what old mean in the Bible? It don't mean he's an old man. Old means he went back to the old man. Means he's not in spirit with God anymore. He's in the flesh. He's so much in the flesh. You see, he's so deep in the flesh, he's not spiritual anymore. He's not in the God. He's not walking with God no more. He's blind. It said he couldn't see anymore. See is believe. He don't believe in God anymore. That's why he said, I'm going to give this to... See, he's not doing what God say he do. He's blind. Look at Solomon. It says Solomon followed God all that time, and then all of a sudden, when Solomon got old, he's old, he started getting all them strange wives when he got back to the world. The Bible tells you in the New Testament, Paul tells you that the old man has passed away. When you get born again, you are a new man. You are a spirit man. You are a wise man. Now, you can't go back to the old man. The old man has to die. He's dead. He's gone. So Isaac is saying right here, he's an old man and he's blind. He can't see. He don't believe in God. So what he's going to do? He want to give it to Esau. He's not listening to what God's saying. And God said, and listen, God said, I hated Esau. I hated him. Because Esau, him and his people, was evil people. They was conquerors. They enslaved people. They destroyed people. They worshipped up different gods. Every god you can think of, they worshipped. No different in this country right here. They worship every god you can think of. They jump from one idol to the next idol. He was blind. So what was he going to do? He was going to give the blessing away. Now, one of the problems that he had is that he loved it, Esau, more than Jacob. And how did that affect Jacob? How did that affect Jacob? See, his nakedness that he was showing, Jacob, he was showing a distinction between his own sons. They are twins. He was showing a distinction. See, it's not God's fault that they was divided. It was Isaac's fault. It was his fault that they was divided. It wasn't God's fault. No way. But see, we'll blame God for that. We'll blame God for Isaac's bad parenting. We'll blame him for him loving one son more than the other. And they knew he loved them more than the other. They knew it. Even Jacob knew, Daddy loved you more than me. See, everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. So how do this affect? How do this affect him? And that's what we got to ask ourselves. How do that affect Jacob? Would that make him better? Or would that traumatize him? Or would that make him do the same thing? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Genesis 37. Genesis chapter 37, and we're going to go to verse 2. This is the story of the family of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was shepherding the flock. So you know Joseph was a shepherd. One of the reasons God always calls shepherds. Because shepherd, if you can handle the sheep and take care of sheep, you take care of people. Now, it said he was shepherding the flock with his brothers. Okay? Now it tells you this much when you go a little further. He was a helper to the son. It tells you about how he's helper to the sons of his father's wives. Now his father had all these wives. Now why his son? Now why did Daddy have all his wives? Because he was in his selfishness. He didn't listen to God either. God sent him there, and it told you that Leah had pretty eyes. Pretty eyes means she had a pretty spirit. Leah seeked God. So it told you that God was impressed with Leah. That's why she had babies, and Rachel was barren. Then was God fault she was barren? No, she was barren on her own. But she would not come to God. She would not bow down to God for God to heal her. So she didn't have no kids until she did. Until she finally got frustrated and went after Jacob. He said, my God. See, when she stopped doing that and went to God, she got kids. But what did she do? She went right back. Now, this is Joseph, her son, her first son that she had. Now, look, now remember, Rachel was the wife that Jacob wanted, his favorite wife. Now, watch how this tells you this. Now, Israel, which is Jacob, now, Jacob loved Joseph more than any of his other children. Are you kidding me? You got your oldest sons, you got all these other sons, and you love this son here more because he comes from your favorite wife. And he made a distinction between them to the point that he was not even spending time taking care of these boys. I mean, for his being a man to them, to show them equality. He wasn't doing it. So these boys end up turning into monsters. Now you see how it affected him, and then he's doing the same exact thing. Now watch what it say here. This is very interesting. Now, Jacob loved Joseph more than any of his other children because he was the son of his old age. Do that make any sense? Because it was a son because he was old. It was a son because he was the old. He went back to the old man. He went back to the old man of the world. Rachel, my favorite, so he's going to be my favorite. It's not of God. God said you love every kid equally. Equality. You love them all. You take time with all of them. God even made a rule. He made a rule with the children of Israel that if you have a child by a woman that you don't think you don't love, you still have to share your inheritance with that son. You still got to treat that son. See, Jacob was not doing that. He was doing what his father did to him to others. And he did it at a worse scale. He did it in a worse scale because his daddy did it with just them two. He's doing it with, he got about 12 boys, 10 boys here. He got all these kids here, and he's doing it with all these sons. I ain't got to really spend no time. He's a concubine. He's a concubine son I got from her. This is one of my wives I don't even care about. So I treated him like I treated their moms. Then what happened? You find out all his sons, the tribe of Israel, all these boys was evil boys. They would kill men, do all kinds of stuff, worship idols, all kind of things. Now, why are they worshiping idols? You know why they worship idols? Because he ain't spending no time telling who God is. He's not being God. He's not walking in God's example to show him anything. He's picking and choosing who he loves more. He's keeping them around. He's keeping them around out of obligation and letting them feel this. And so you wonder why? You know, like why? I wonder why. See, Isaac did that to him. Now he's doing it. And he's doing it on a bigger scale with more kids. See, this is why we have to follow Jesus. We have to make that example. So we got to take that. We got to say, listen, we got to let this world go, and we got to follow him all the way. So therefore, we can set that example for our children. So they'll follow him just like we follow him, because he knows best. What would Jesus do? We got to put ourselves in that position. Not what Jesus would do, knowing what Jesus would do. Now, you see how that affects your parenting, how you can know God. Jacob knew God, but he didn't walk with God. He didn't give everything up for God, but he knew him. He's doing a religious thing. What you doing? Oh, I know of God, but I'm not giving everything up to him. Now, look how that affects his parenting, his children. And why did that happen to Jacob? Because you know what? It's the same. He's serving God the same way he's seen Isaac serve him. That's the way Isaac served him. That's the way I'm serving him. Jacob told God, he said, listen, when I left home, I didn't have nothing but the staff. The staff is the word. Just the blessing, the promise of God I had on me. And when I came back, I got 2 companies of people. All these sheep, all this stuff. He talked about how magnificent he seen how God was. Now, why did he know that when Isaac was there all that time? Because Isaac wasn't walking with God. And so, therefore, Jacob serving God the same way. And then his kids is doing the same thing. But Joseph was different. See, Joseph walked with God. Big difference. And when he walked with God, he knew certain things that you couldn't do that Jacob didn't know. Jacob went around there committing adultery. He sleeping with concubines, committing adultery. I don't care if you got 5 wives. Okay, you got 5, that's fine. But anytime you have it where you ain't marrying these women anymore, you just taking a woman, sleeping with her, and that's all, that's called adultery or fornication. In the story. That's what it is. In that case, then let's all go out and just start sleeping with people, and it doesn't make a difference because Jacob did it. Abraham had concubines. They was doing it. David was doing it. Then in that case, what is committing adultery and what is fornication? Now, I understand he got 5 wives. A certain amount. Okay, you married them, fine. But you can't go take a woman that you ain't marrying, and you just sleeping with them all you want, and you go get another one. See, that's the point where it called committing adultery, because you're committing adultery on your other 5 wives. He's doing all these things. When Joseph had a woman come on to him that wanted to mess with him and sleep with him and do this with him, Joseph said, listen, I can't sin against God like that. Not against my flesh. Against God like that. Why? Because God's spirit was with him, was on him. He said, I can't sin against God like that. Jacob had no problem taking the Holy Spirit with him, sleeping with women that he ain't married to. He had no problem. That's why he stayed in deception. If you read the story, he stayed in deception for 20 years because of it. Not listening to God. He listened to God the first time he'd been gone. He spent 20 years working for Rachel because he was stuck on the flesh. And God gave him Leah. He got Leah for free. And Leah gave him she gave him the tribe of Judah, the Levites that God had the Levites, the Judah, which is Jesus. Gave him all the blessed tribes, you would say, coming through there. David coming from that line. All that. Because Leah depended on God. She loved God. God was her husband because Jacob treated her like trash. He made a difference between them. That's why when he was an old man, he making a old flesh decision. And then his kids out of line, they grow up, be murderers and killers and all kind of things. And he sent back there, you kids are evil, y'all. But see, he takes no responsibility. He point a finger like, y'all just evil on y'all own. You had something to do with that. Just like your daddy had something to do with what you doing. We're going to go to find out about, it's a priest called Eli. He was a priest that God gave an everlasting covenant to. You believe that? He's going to be my high priest forever. Everybody that comes through his family is going to be my high priest. Well, we know now Jesus is the high priest forever. So we know something must have went wrong with that. Well, I'm going to show you what went wrong. See, it's all about people got to take responsibility for their parenting. This is how serious this is. Now we're going to go to 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 11. Now the sons of Eli were scoundrels who had no respect for God. They had no respect for God. Now here you have Eli, the man that's the high priest to run the temple of God, to do the sacrifice and everything, and his kids have no respect for God. No respect. I'm going to show you how much respect they have. They have no respect for God. They say for their duties as priests. They are priests. And they have no respect for God, but they're priests though. Whenever anyone offered a sacrifice, Eli's sons will send over a servant with the three-pronged fork, while the meat of the sacrifice, the animal, was still boiling. While it was still boiling. Here you got people coming to God. We have people coming to God. And then see, you got people coming to God. And they're like, I'm trying to give my sacrifice, God. I'm trying to get myself clean. I'm trying to get God to take my sacrifice. And when I come to repent and to do this, the people of God, that's supposed to be of God to take this here, they're sitting here stealing the food from me. And then, so I'm on the verge. Now, see, you got to understand this. Now I'm on the verge. I'm on fire inside. God didn't convict me. I'm ready to give it out. And I come to the man of God and say, listen, and he tell me he don't care. Where's my money? Because that's what this is back then. This is money, what it is now. I come to a man of God trying to get born again, and you give me a speech about how I need to get $50 to get $200. I'm balling inside. I'm on the streets. I'm coming out. I'm repenting. I don't want this life no more. And you telling me to give you $500 and I'll get $1,500, everything will be fine. You want to let me sacrifice. You too busy with your fork in me, trying to pick my pockets. This is what's going on. So let's just go through this. Now, when the people came, it said Eli's sons will send over their servants with a three-pronged fork while the meat of the sacrifice animals was still boiling. It said they were still boiling. They weren't even cooked yet. The servants would stick the fork into the pot and demand that whatever brought up be given to Eli's sons, all the Israelites who came to worship. Now, they all come to worship and going through this. They got to deal with this stuff. I come to worship God to give my tithes, and you trying to rob me. You're going to give me that money. Give me more. Now watch what happened here. Let's go to the 15th verse. Sometimes the servant would come even before the animal fat has been burned on the offering. They wouldn't even let you sacrifice to God. If you don't sacrifice to God, how you going to get repentance? See, I'm coming to God to kick this dope habit, and you telling me I need to give you more money. Oh, there's no faith in it. See, men like this have no respect for God. No respect. They scoundrels. Here we go again. Let's finish this off now. Listen to what they would say. He would demand raw meat before it has been boiled, so that it couldn't be used for roasting. See, they wouldn't even let them finish the procedure of the sacrifice. They want the money. They didn't care about these people getting repentance. They didn't care about these people came with broken hearts crying to God. They didn't care about that. They couldn't be more happier when the person just came into church and you already trying to hit their pockets. You people know what church you're going to. You know what you're dealing with. Quit playing like you don't know what I'm saying. Scoundrels. Now, this is even more interesting here. Let's go a little further. The man offered the sacrifice may reply, take much as you want. Now, this is the people telling them, listen, take much as you want, but the fat must be burned first. Listen, you want to take some of the animal or take some of the money, that's fine. You're going to take the 10% or whatever you're going to take, that's fine. But, man, let me repent here. Let me worship God. But no, I'm going to give you money, preachers. I'm going to give you all this. I'm going to give you all this BS because I want you to give me what I want, and I will take it by force. And this is how I'm taking it by force. I start giving you these guilt trips. Give you all this guilt if you don't pay. I start telling you faith is money. You ain't got no money in God, that's giving up your money. That's faith. That ain't faith. Obeying God is more than sacrifice. Having mercy is more than sacrifice. That's more than money. Knowing your God is more than anything. But they don't preach that because they don't help their pockets. They're scoundrels with no respect for God. But they look like they look like priests too. They look like priests too. They look like, you think they priests. People coming to them thinking they priests. They look like it. He in that suit jumping around. It look like he know what he's talking about. But he got a 3-pound fork in his hand pulling everything out your pocket. See, the Bible tells on everybody. See, people don't seek God. They don't seek the word. They seek the word. They already know. You read the Bible a little bit, you already know who's a fake and who's not. Now, this is the stuff that's going on. Let's get through this. We got another 40 minutes, so we got some time. Now, it say the man would tell him, take as much as you want, but at least let the meat burn first. Let the fat burn. I gotta get this to God. Then it said the servant would demand, no, give it to me now, or I will take it by force. So the sins of these young men was very serious in the eyes of God. Was serious in the eyes of God. Or you could say in the sight of God. For they treated the Lord offering with contempt. When people coming to give they all, they coming in there, they want to be born again, they want to know the truth, they want to get all this, and you want to rob their pockets and make them twice a child of hell than you are. You want to convert them into a slot machine or a money machine or ATM instead of worrying about them getting repentance, getting cleaned out. You ain't telling them the truth. They got to pull all that stuff out of them. You ain't telling them, oh, yeah, by the way, you got to renew your mind, but I ain't going to tell you how. You supposed to be a man and you're supposed to tell them how. The Holy Spirit told you, you're supposed to tell them. But no, you don't want that. No. You want them to keep on sinning so they'll keep coming back to give sacrifices. And you can put that prong fork in them. Now, notice that his son's doing this. Now, his sons is doing this. Now, why was the daddy, who was the priest of God, the high priest, why was he allowing this? It's going to tell you why he was allowing this. The 22nd chapter say, now Eli was notice it said Eli was very old. He was very old. The Bible also says that he was a fat man. He was very fat. And what fat means is greedy. He was a very greedy man. He was a very fat, greedy man. So he let his sons get away with it because he getting his pockets full. He was a fat man, overweight, fat. And God let that greed make him fall and break his neck. He let his sons get away with things because they was greedy. And he was greedy. So he let them get away with it. And he gave them a little speech. Sons, that's bad what I hear y'all doing, you know. But he let them keep doing it. They were sitting up there sleeping with the women. They're sleeping with the women that works in the temple. Like they doing the priests, doing the nuns. They're doing the same thing. They're sleeping with the women in God's house. They're doing the same thing. See, this is a spirit that's doing it. Now, this is about, 4,000 years ago, 5? But yet, it's still the same people. Same people. Same scoundrels. Because these are spirits. Ain't no medical condition. Now it said Eli was very old, and think about it, he was very old, which we know what old means, back in the flesh. But he was aware of what his sons were doing to the people of Israel. He knew that his sons were seducing the young women who assist in the interests of the temple, the tabernacle. He knew it. Why didn't he stop it? Because he was fat. He was greedy. And when you're greedy, you'll let things go. You'll say, I know I'm at this abortion clinic I work at. I know that it's wrong that a man killing kids all day, but you know what? It's all right because I'm getting here for a paycheck. He paid good. He paid better than my last job. So your greed will turn your eye. It's okay that I'm doing pornography movies. It's okay. A man can do whatever he wants with me. It's okay because that greed. It's okay. I'm just holding the camera, okay? I just hold the camera. I'm not doing the act. It's okay for me to watch that kind of stuff all day long. It's okay. Because I'm fat. Greedy. It's okay. I ain't got to have respect for the Lord. I ain't got to follow Jesus. It's okay. What do this? Now his kids is doing this. And you know what God's going to do? God sentenced his kids to death. God said, I'm going to kill both of them on the same day. And every one of your descendants that come from them, they all going to die. And you know what? Not just they all going to die, and they're not going to live long. He said they all going to beg for. They all going to beg for food. Meaning they all going to be broke. They're going to be broke because of y'all greed. Now, what did he do when this was happening? I'm going to show you how greedy he is. He's so greedy that when Samuel told him what God said, he didn't even go back to repent, to fall to his knees and say, I'm going to stop it, God. Son, y'all got to quit. He said, well, let it be done. That means, see how blind and old he is? He's so greedy that greed consumed him to the point he accepted. Let God can do what he want to do. Go ahead. It's his will. God can do what he wants. But I'm still going to be fat and greedy. A man just told you that God said he's going to kill your whole family and curse your whole descendants. You on your knees begging for the next 5 years. This man don't care because he's old and blind. He don't care about God no more. He's too fat. He's too greedy. He's talking about, well, that's what God want to do. Let him do it. Man ain't got no respect for God. That's why God killed all of them. All three of them died on the same day. The two died in the war, and they came home and told the daddy the same day the daddy fell on his fat neck and broke it. Now, what was he supposed to tell his son? Man, now Samuel just told you that your kid's going to die. Don't you want to go and say something? You want to go stop God, say, beg him something? See, he did nothing. He ain't do nothing. Oh, sons, y'all need to, man, you ain't repenting. I done read stories of guys in the Bible that did stuff just as evil as them and went down on their knees and repented, begged to God. That's like King Ahab, evil as he was. He begged God for about 3 days and God finally forgave him. But he believed, so he begged for 3 days. This man ain't even caring. He's like, whatever. Look at Solomon. He was so old and messed with all these women into lust. Now, let's go over that with Solomon real quick. Now, look how Eli was greedy, and his sons was not just greedy. They was greedy, and they had the other one that comes with greed, lust. They have no respect for God. They're sleeping with the nuns. They're sleeping with the women, not nuns, because they didn't have nuns this time, but these are the same kind of women that's doing that now they got called nuns, I would say. And the priest doing that to them right now in the Catholic Church. So many stories you hear about this stuff all over the place. Same thing they're doing. Scoundrels. They want money and they want sex and power. Scoundrels. With no respect for the Lord. No respect for the Lord. So you can find fake prophets textbook. That's like a psychologist say, well, he's a textbook sociopath. Why? Well, in the book it says this is what it is. Well, in the Bible it tells you about fake people. It tells you about spirits that's demonic that runs these things. It tells you about evil people. Textbook. Fake prophets.